Good day, this is AJ Farzad with ajfarzadloa.com, where you can see a link to my Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube videos for trainings. And also don't forget to go ahead and scroll all the way down from the homepage of AJ Farzad LOA, put your email in my newsletter, and hit submit. You may have to confirm it, but that allows you to get all of the freebies and trainings that I put out and any special events that I'm promoting without missing any important events. Good morning. It's really early morning, and I was listening to some podcasts. One of them happens to be Jay Shetty interviewing Malcolm Gladwell. And something popped up regarding communication that is extremely important when it comes to the science and behavior of success. And I thought about it, and I realized that I was making these mistakes. So I thought maybe if I can share this with you, it will help as much as it might help me in my sales and training career. So one of the things that Malcolm Gladwell mentioned was the lack of an inadequate way that we communicate in our society today. Miscommunication is so rampant and so strong, and we may not even realize that it is happening. So he mentioned that we are comfortable with people that we know, and we think that we are so good at interpreting facial expressions, body language. But in fact, we suck at it. We are good with recognizing these cues, physical cues, with people that we know really well. However, we transfer this to people that we don't know, thinking that we really understand what their facial expression, what their body language actually means. And this is a really big mistake. Whether you're a police officer doing a traffic stop, or you're a sales rep sitting across from customers, if you cannot verbally clarify the communication, you may be making huge mistakes based on what you think the customer's facial or physical cues are giving you. So moreover, generational gaps will increase this miscommunication significantly. So as a father, I may understand my kid, I may be able to complete her sentences, but that doesn't make me an expert on every 12-year-old. And yet we make these assumptions. And they can be not only damaging to our image, they can be damaging to our profit and bottom line, but they can cause real huge problems to our reputation for future sales. And this is something that we really have to take into account. So clarify your communication verbally. If you think there is something going on that needs clarification, don't just assume that because you happen to be good with a certain demographic, you can transfer that to others. Generational gaps will cause significant issues. Certain decorum in my parents' generation may not be applicable when I'm dealing with a young, CEO, for example. Let's not forget about our electronic devices. Yep, these same devices that we cannot live without, our phone, our computers, our laptops. These devices can be actually shooting ourselves in the foot communicating through them. Why? Gladwell points out that when he interviewed a political correspondent interviewer that happens to have a reputation for being extremely brutal and controversial and asked this certain interviewer, would you rather do your interview face-to-face or over the phone? The correspondent, without a doubt, said that, oh, always over the phone, always over the phone. It's hard to be mean and confrontational when you're face-to-face. Now, think about how comfortable we have become texting or sending emails. But now think about, would you send an email if you were face-to-face mentioning the same things? Again, the decorum, the courtesy, the sense of comfort, it's a lot easier when we are behind the facade of an electronic device. Why do you think cyberbullying is so easy? In my day and age, if somebody bullies you, it was going to be a face-to-face altercation and something would happen. So it's a lot more difficult to be mean and insensitive when you are face-to-face with the person that is the object of your meanness. And yet, sometimes in an emotional outburst, we text, we email, and again, these are the things that can significantly damage our reputation and our sales. When I read this, I realized that, I may be making these mistakes. No, I'm not disrespectful in an email or a text to a customer, but am I being as formal and as courteous as I would be in person to a new customer as I am when I'm sending an email? Going back and thinking about it, I don't really remember the last time that I sent an email addressing a customer by last name, Mr. or Mrs. So-and-so. It is so easy to address the customer by their first name. Now, if that person happens to be from my parents' generation, that might come across as rude, impolite. So these are the things that I want you to take a note at, and before you send a text or click send on your email, reread it and really consider, if I was face-to-face with this customer, would I actually phrase or say things the way I have it right now in my email? I think you will be helping yourself to succeed, and maybe sometimes you may need to actually change that email before you send it. In either case, a few seconds of delay, maybe a few minutes of reviewing, may save you a lot of money and may make you a lot of profit. So in this episode, I didn't really bring that much law of attraction, but this is presence of mind and mindfulness of being in the now when we are actually sending things, and realizing that we can still be personable when we are using our electronics, and also clarifying our communications, making sure that we are not assuming anything, because as you know, when we assume things, you know what assume stands for. I hope this makes sense. To your success. Till next time. Thank you for listening, and if you would like to have this type of training for your organization, please email me at aj@ajfarzadloa.com. To your success.